Mr Deputy Speaker, the CFMEU is the gift that keeps on giving. Today, in the Australian, we see that yesterday the courts handed down unprecedented penalties for its concerted campaign of industrial lawlessness at the Barangaroo building site in Sydney. Now, there were up to 1,000 workers that were involved in that illegal strike. And, you know, when we talk about illegal strikes, people in this place quite often don't understand, well, so what? What's an illegal strike? People should have the ability to withhold their labour. But what people don't understand in this place is what impacts that can cause on any building site. Most people in this place would never have worked on a building site in their life. Probably most of them wouldn't have walked onto a building site in their life. What they don't understand is the impacts that it causes for small to medium-sized enterprises that are contracting on that building site. When a building site gets shut down, everything gets shut down. The crane gets shut down. Concrete supplies that are literally out the front. Concrete is going off in the agitators in trucks, costing hundreds of thousands of dollars and sometimes millions of dollars when a building site gets shut down just for one day. Just for one day. And when people who are working on that building site, small mum and dad businesses, they don't get paid. When those people get their building sites shut down, they lose money. When they lose their money, they can't put their kids in school. They can't put their food on the table. That's what people don't understand in this place when a building site gets shut down illegally. And people that did want to work on that building site at Barangaroo were called scum and dogs by union organisers such as Luke Collier. Now, he in fact told one building inspector that he was lower than a pedophile. Now, the CFMEU National Branch, New South Wales branch, and multiple union CFMEU officials have been ordered by the federal court to pay penalties in excess of $2.4 million. The penalties included, among others, the CFMEU national body was ordered to pay a fine of $1.326 million, CFMEU New South Wales $956,000, Brian Parker $45,400, Robert Kira $41,000, Danny Reeves $41,000, Luke Collier $40,400. In addition to issuing unprecedented penalties, Justice Flick also referred union officials Brian Parker, Luke Collier, Robert Kira, Tony Sloan to the Director of Public Prosecutions for possible criminal prosecution for allegedly giving false testimony during the proceedings. Justice Flick said, and quote, "It is difficult, if not impossible, to envisage any worse conduct than that pursued by the CFMEU. The CFMEU assumes a prominent role in the industrial affairs of this country and had consistently exhibited a contempt for compliance with the law." He goes on, "The CFMEU has long demonstrated by its conduct that it pays but little regard to compliance with the law and indeed has repeatedly sought to place itself above the law." And he goes on, "The CFMEU's conduct exposes a cavalier disregard for the prior penalties imposed by this court." This latest penalties of $2.4 million pales into insignificance compared to what the courts have imposed since 2004. In fact, since 2004, the courts have imposed penalties on the CFMEU of $10,096,300 for breaches of industrial laws. The CFMEU was the first ever union to have more than $10 million worth of fines imposed upon them. They've engaged in unlawful industrial action affecting well over $1 billion worth of public infrastructure projects, including the Queensland Children's Hospital and the Queensland Institute of Medical Research. But that's just in Queensland. It is happening all over the country. Mr Deputy Speaker, I ask all of you hard-working members, building industry members who are members of the CFMEU, don't let your membership fees go to this organisation. It is money out of your pocket and they are tearing it up in fines.